Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to try and start this Ford D series truck up that was given to me by a viewer of the channel actually. It sat for 28 years. As you can see, the tyre was pumped up before we got it and it's still holding air. I've had it about 3 months now. 28 years it sat there, and he said it was parked there, was running, but there was a pin missing out of the reverse, whether it's inside the box or what the case is. So we're going to try and get it running, see if the hoist works, and then I might pull a few bits and pieces off it for one that I'm fixing up in the shed, and then I might part with it. Hopefully someone else might want to do something with it. So it is a D1210. I think that means 12 tonne, 100 horsepower, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Got the slant 6 diesel. I don't know if they're a 5 or a 6 speed. Cab's very rusty, but the rest of the truck appears to be in quite good condition. Full of snails. For those of you who've seen the episode where I picked it up, you would remember that, me showing you that before. I highly doubt whether the brakes or clutch will work being hydraulic, but we'll soon see. It is a tipper, and we'll see if all that works when we get it going. It should make a great farm truck. You don't need a rust-free cab for farm work or bits and pieces. Someone may be doing one up. What we'll start with, we'll try and get the cab up. I want to get under it, make sure there's no water in the sump. We'll just drop a little bit out, make sure there's no water on the bottom, and fill everything up, and we'll try and prime her up and see what she does. That looks a bit wounded, that. It's not tight. I'm not going to change the oil. I'm certainly not spending money on something I'm not going to use. The goal is just to see if there's any water. You should tell that straight away, as it'll be on the bottom. I don't know if that's water or what that is. Oh, great. That's not good. I can't start it with that in it. Okay, what I'm going to do, I've drained that oil out. I've done a service on a bloke's diesel ute through the week. I'm going to tip that old oil back in here so I can flush some of that chunky stuff out. I'm not willing to tip any good oil in. One, I haven't got enough, and two, I think it's a waste at this stage with that water in there. It needs flushing, dropping, and then doing properly. But this oil's certainly a lot better than what was in it. Just got to work out how to throw her over. Actually looks like that. I was going to say that PDO cable's going to go with it, but it looks long enough. I'll find whether I can see the lock, but not what pulls it. Maybe that pulls it as well. And there it is. Okay, hopefully she stays on there. The old cab. That looked good. So she has got a filler that side. You can fill it through the back of the cab, or you can fill it from the tappet cover here like normal. I'll tip it in here. I'm guessing it'll take at least 5 or 6 of these. I won't film all that. These running and getting hot, and then flushing it again. It's a bit naughty, but it saves good oil too. It's actually a very clean engine on top. Makes you wonder how the water got in there, whether it's condensation, whether the head gasket's rotted. It wasn't heaps, admittedly, but there was enough to sort of create a concern. Let's check how much is in it. As long as it's in the range, it's certainly going to do this thing, because it's not staying in there. Well, I mean, it's above add. The car I took it out of certainly wouldn't hold near as much as this truck, but it's enough to bring it up over the range to flush it, that's for sure. Okay, there was no cap on this, but I'm going to fill her up with water and see where it leaks and where it doesn't. I actually saw that oil using the old used oil on another channel I watch. I haven't been watching much YouTube lately for the last few weeks, but on another channel I watch, and it's a pretty good thing. Because those vehicles that came out, if we're still running, it was just due for a service. So to run these things another half an hour or something on that oil is not a bad thing, just to get an idea of what the machine's like before you spend money. And I like that idea. So flush it, and then you can, whoever takes it on can put good oil in it from there. There is going to be a leak because I noticed the heater hose was rotted off the other side, but it looks blocked enough to... She's got a couple of leaks, but as long as that radiator's full, is the only real concern. So you can see it leaking just there, so there'd be probably a steel joiner in that, between that rubber hose and that radiator hose. And then this one's rotted off. I'm not going to disturb that because it's holding water. It's holding enough to run it anyway. The next thing is find out if it winds over. I haven't yet checked. I'm going to do that with the batteries because it's a bit hard to get onto that crank. Usually the battery trays are rotted off these old trucks, but this one's in quite good order. I assume she's only 12 volt with no more room for another one. Those bolts look very tight. I'm just going to try and wedge them on there and see if she turns. If it sparks, I'll pay more attention to it. Okay. The top's actually been unbolted off the gearbox. So what I'm thinking was neutral was just the linkage moving around with nothing on it. The actual selectors had it. I'll have to dig all that stuff off and pull that off and make sure she's in neutral. Let's get rid of a bit of this stuff so it doesn't fall in the transmission when I lift the top off. Not going to prevent it all, unfortunately. That's still in good order, it's just seized. So, I assume it is in neutral because we towed it. Yeah, so a split pin's or some sort of cotter pin's missing out of the selector. It was towed here, so it was rolling fine. Might just bump the starter and see what does happen. He did say something about that pin, but it's, don't know if it'll be too hard of a fix. The trouble is it's going horizontal and you can only really get to it vertically. The buyer can work that out. I'm certainly not going to be doing it. I don't need it. Okay, I'll just tap the starter and see what she does. Okay, I had to just crawl underneath and put my button on there, so I'll just see if she winds over now, and then we'll sort the fuel system out. Okay. Well, if it winds, it'll go. Next thing is this fuel pump. So I've just, off camera, had a bit of a fiddle with this rack, and you can feel if a rack's stuck or not. And that's not, you can actually hear the rack moving in the pump, which is fairly unusual for something that's sat this long. So what I'm going to do, I think the throttle linkage is stuck, so I'm just going to knock it off here. And I can control the revs through that there, because it's not stuck on the pump, it's stuck through the linkages going to the pedal. You might even be able to drop her off here. She's had some sort of bit of a rough repair there, but it's not great, but it's certainly given me a lot more movement. Now we've got to get fuel up to it. This is where you bleed the pump here, but there's also two fuel filters. There's a glass bowl there that looks mainly empty, and I haven't checked the tank, so we'll go around there and check the fuel tank. Got this genuine Ford dipstick here that I just found in the bush. Well, there's a bit in there. With this fuel crisis in Australia, I might even bloody use it in the car. It smells like fuel, it's not water, which is a good sign. Okay, so we've got this separator bowl here. I don't like the look of it. It's empty, so there's obviously a leak somewhere anyway. So what I might do is bypass it, and there's still a filter there. I could put that hose straight in the bottom of that lift pump. The problem there is if there's any water in that tank, but if I disturb it, I'm just worried that it's going to draw air through it, disturb those old seals. I might pull it off to start with, and if it's a bit how you going, I'll just put it straight into the lift pump. Okay. Just had a bit of stuff around off camera to try and loosen it up. It's got this bodgy bit of rubber under it, and I'm not overly sure if it feels like it's stuck to it somehow. Oh no, it's full of fuel. It looked to me like it was empty. I will pull it off and clean it though. I've got fuel in the back of the ute there. Well, that's a good sign. Okay, there it is, dirty fuel. Probably got water in it too, which is the idea of this thing, sediment. You can actually see a line here that's possibly the line between the diesel and the water. But anyway, it's probably a better thing to have it on there so it separates the water when we do start it. I'll tip that out and give it a flush and put it back on. Can't really see that seal, but it hasn't fallen. She's going to like this. Let's try and seat it. Okay. Yeah, I might just crack that one on the pump there. Knock the bleed screw out of the pump here. See what she does. Well, the lift pump moves, that's a start. Oh. It's old and stale, but it's there. There's a bit of air in it, but it seems to be on the backstroke of the pump, like it's sucking it back. You can see, actually see it through here. I thought that what was a steel tube is pushing air through that plastic tube there. It must be clear. That'll be the bit of air I left in the top of that separator bowl, sediment bowl. Okay, that's it. Might be enough there to get a bit of smoke out of her. Okay. Well, the next thing is we'll just put that bit of water in that's leaked. Oh, ow, that hurt. Bracket there, because it's leaked back out, and then we'll give her a go. All right, after 28 years, let's see what she wants to do. It was winding and it's got fuel. I can't see why it shouldn't go. Hopefully I've got full control of this rack. It always scares you after all this time sitting. I've got no way of checking it's got oil pressure. I think the gauge in the cab looking from here is electronic, which wouldn't be working by any means. There's the gauge in the cab. That ain't gonna work. Okay. Alrighty, we'll give her a go. Starter sounds a bit rough on her. Getting the smoke out of her. Does that go on the phone? Every time she hits, she throws the starter out. She got bad breath. Making a few big truck sounds here. compressor's working. There's no smoke coming out of the top because she's burnt out under here. Sounds like it's got a bit of a miss. I could crack those injectors, but might come out of her. I was going to try the tipper, cable seized. So there's two cables, one for the valve and one for the knock the PDO in and out of gear. I have no doubt that'll work. It's all full of oil still and sealed. I didn't mean to turn that off. I put it back to idle and she cut herself out, but governor's probably a bit sticky. You could hear how she was hunting there. That's just the drain valve partly open. Okay everyone, hopefully you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I love playing with these old trucks. About a week's time from now it will be advertised. I'm going to get the bumper bar and a couple of small panels off the cab and one of the rims for the D1000 I'm doing up. It runs really well, it builds air. I have no doubt that hoist would work. It's all still got oil on it. All the leaks have preserved the linkages and whatnot. Just this cable seized, and if you could knock them pins out and engage the PDO and pull that valve, I have no doubt that'd go up. To drive it, just would need that little roll pin putting back in that gear linkage, which is fairly simple. I've since thought about how to do it, and I probably should do it before it goes, but I haven't got time. If you are interested, email me. If not, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.